Welcome to part 4 of Competency 11. In this video, we will answer questions involving calculus of curves and arc length. Number 1, what is the area between the graph of y equals x plus 3 and y equals 2x minus 2 over the interval 2 to 3. Okay, and you should at this point recognize that we're using integration, right? So we need to go to alpha window. That would be number 4. So let's set that up. This is what we need to actually enter in our calculator. So we have 0 to 3. Okay. All right, now then, okay, here's our 0, here's our 3. We use the pink line, the top line, because it's between the two. Okay, so that means we have x plus 3. Okay, then we'll subtract the entire purple line, which is the lower linear situation. Okay, so then that is, now remember, when you use that subtraction, you need to make sure it's all in parentheses. 2x minus 2. And then, of course, we'll have dx. Okay, as you can see, this is what we need to type in. Okay, so 0, it always starts there, then go to 3. Now move over and put in our x plus 3. Okay, now, you could use another parentheses with it, but for the first one, it's not necessary. Then use your subtraction, open up a new parentheses because we're actually dealing with order of operations, okay? Yes, you could follow through with your negative and distribute it to the 2x and the negative 2. But why do that when your calculator will do it for you? Okay, so 2x minus the 2. Now, another parentheses, okay? Now you have to go over and say who you're working with, and that would be the x, okay? All right. Now, we have everything entered correctly. Push enter, and that is the value we need, which would be option B. Okay, let's go to number 2. What is the area between the graphs of y minus x plus 10 and y equals 2? I'm sorry, x squared plus 4 over the interval negative 2 to 2. Okay, well, let's proceed and see how we would handle that. I don't have a graph for you, and I don't need to give you a graph to make sure you know which one to subtract from the other one, okay? All right, this is what we need to do. Go to your setup, graph it, just graph it, go to your y equals. Okay, clear it out. Okay, now put in the first one, negative x plus 10. Then you go down and you put in x, square it, and then add your 4. Now graph it and see what it looks like. Okay, so we know that the straight line right here, that straight line is first, and we subtract the bottom curve. And between that, we'll get our area, okay? So this is what it needs to look like. There's our integral, and it's from minus 3 to 2, and we take minus x plus the 10, and then we subtract the x squared plus 4, double parentheses, and the dx. Now you just type it in exactly the way you see it, and we should turn out just fine. Okay, so let's do second mode. All right, now alpha window number 4. Okay, and we have negative 3. Let's go up to the 2, go over negative x plus 10 minus. Now we need the parentheses because otherwise you have to distribute the negative. I don't want to do that because if you don't do that and you just enter it in the calculator, you save yourself from potential mistakes. Okay, so we have x, square it, plus the 4, and put in that other parentheses. Now go over and put in your x because that's what we want to, uh, our term of integration. Okay, that's dx is our integration. Okay, now let's just push in. I'm double checking it, making sure I have this entered. Yes, I do. Always double check. All right, there we go. Well, I see the answer 20 and 5/6. Now, like I've shown you before in other videos, if you don't believe the 5 over 6, subtract the 20. And now just do your math. It's already preset, highlighted where you need it, and just push enter twice, and there you go. So you know it's 10 and 5/6. Okay. All right. And look at how much time and effort we saved ourselves. I didn't calculate a thing, but I do need to know how to set it up. Okay. And that being said, let's take a look at that for the next one. Okay. So let's second mode. And well, one thing I do know is that this is going to open downward. And then this is a positive line. So I'm seeing it going up. So my thought is that we will subtract the way that you see them in order. But don't believe it, okay? Better safe than sorry in these situations. We have our calculator and it's easy to put these things in. So negative x, square the x, add the 9, go down, and then 2x minus the 6. Now let's graph it. And I was correct. So you will take the first one minus the second one. Okay, so let's just write that out so we make sure we enter it correctly. So we're going from 0 to 5. Okay, that looks good. From 0 to 5. I was just double checking because there'll be some other situations coming up that I'll have to tell you about. Okay, so we have that. So then subtract the 2x minus the 6 and the dx. Okay, all right, so back out second mode. Okay, now alpha window. And we need number 4 again. Okay, so we need to put in 0, go up to the 5, then go over, arrow over, minus x, square that, plus the 9, minus the 2x, minus 6, close our parentheses, go over, and put your x in, and push enter. Okay. All right. Let me see. Let's look at that graph again. See how our value isn't enough? And that's what I was kind of hesitating on earlier. Okay. We have something entered wrong. Let me see here. Negative 2x. Okay. I see what it is. It's our interval amount. Let's go back to our graph it. Okay, that's what's going on. What you see here is from 0 to 3, we have a point, okay? And then we have to go from that point right here, that point right there. We have to go from that, and then we have 2 more spaces we have to cover. So this is really not quite correct. So how do we change that to make that correct? That's not a big deal, all right? So that's one way to double check, and I should have done that in the first place. So let's get rid of this. This is what you need to do. This is why we go to our calculator. So actually, we're going to split this into 2. So we need 2 intervals. We need 0 to 3, then plus 3 to the 5, okay? So I'm going to put 3 here. And then what I had earlier, that we could have left actually. So we put plus 9 minus, okay, 2x minus the 6, and then dx. Okay, but now we have to do this differently. We will add on the next interval. Oops, we're not back at 3. Okay, it's 3 to 5. However, we have to flip it because as you know, let's go over here. After the point 3, okay, see there where I had it. You go up, and what happens is the pink is above the blue. Okay, that means your straight line is above the curve. So from this point on, the situation is 2x minus 6 minus the minus x squared plus 9 dx. So we need to put all of that in the calculator exactly the way we see it. Okay, so second mode. Okay, so actually, the first one wasn't too bad. We just need to go back over. See, I remember if you didn't see what I did, I went back up. I entered to grab it. It brings it back down for me. I put in my 3. I go back over. Okay, now I'm going to add plus. I'm going to go back up. And now let's not do that. Let's just start fresh because then I have to change all those numbers. So let's say alpha window number 4. Now let's go 3 up, 5, go over, and now we do it flipped. We flip our line in our curve. So that's 2x minus 6 minus in parentheses negative x squared plus 9, close the parentheses. Now arrow over, put in your x, okay? Uh-oh, I see something I did that was wrong. I should have added, look, I said, did I not? Type it in exactly the way you see it. And that means I cannot forget to add. Okay, so I add. Well, that kind of messed up my world a little, but I don't want to clear everything out so I can delete everything out. Uh-oh, go over. That's also dangerous. See what happened? Well, if anything, at least you're learning what not to do. Okay, let me go do it again. Doesn't hurt to see it again. Okay, now I go to 3, and I have 5. Now I have 2x minus 6 minus parentheses negative x. Square that. Now I add my 9, close my parentheses. So, and then go back in, and I put in my x for my dx because that's what we're using to uh, integrate. Okay, now I have it all in correctly. And you can even arrow over to double check. If you guys have watched other videos with me, you know that I always look over, double check, and I often have checked. I've caught myself with mistakes. I'm not going to lie. Hey, I'm human. So are you. And this is a test. It's important. So looks like we're good to go. Push enter. And yes, we are good to go. 45 and 2/3. Now let's say that the fractions were all pretty close and you had something other than 0.666. So as I did before, well, actually, let's play around with this, okay? Yeah, don't do what I did before. Let's play. Okay, so let's go second window and see where it says fraction. Arrow over to that. And let's go to number 3. Okay. And let's push enter. Oh, I don't have it set up for that. Okay, well, let's go to mode. And let's see, see where it says fraction type? Nah, let's not do that because then I'm going back to what I had. Well, I know. Let's see if we can get it to. Okay, let's enter again. There it is. You have to enter twice. I knew there was something I forgot. There it is. There's your answer. I am so sorry. Ooh, my brain went for a second. I'm like, okay, that should show it. Yes, it did. And our mode was set up correctly. Okay, good to go. Now you know how to get those instead of subtracting. So if you've watched all the videos with me, you've seen a bunch of ways to do this, but that's like awesome. Okay. All right. Let's go to number 4. Number 4, what is the area of the shaded region? Okay, so I have graphed this for you, shaded in the 2 regions that you need. And yes, you do need this part right here. Okay. Well, that was kind of rude of it. Delayed reaction. My technology is giving me issues. Okay, there we go. So this part right here also. Okay, I made it a little darker for you. Okay, so I mean, you can go in and graph this on your own. But when you do, I need you to make note of the switching. Okay. So, what is going to happen here? We have integration from 1 to 2 right here. So, we have 1 to 2. And that is the curve minus 4 because right here we have y equals 4. That's like our splitting line, okay? So we just put in x squared minus the 8x plus 16. Oops, my technology is messing with my world again. Okay, there we go. Yep, right. My 16, but then minus 4, and we have dx. Okay, I would not bother with subtracting those. I would leave them as is, okay? Now we need to add on going the other direction, okay? So, I mean, or continuing out and flipping. That's what I wanted to say. We need to add the integration of 4 minus the curve, okay? Right. So 4 minus x squared minus the 8x plus 16 and then dx. Okay. Oh, and that is from 2 to 6. From 2. Oh, I kind of, here, let me rewrite this so you can actually tell what I'm doing. Okay. I need a parentheses here, and I need a 2 here, 6 here, and that is all added. Okay, that's much better. Okay, now we're going to enter that exactly the way it's written. Okay, just as we did before. So second window, number 4, and I'm starting with 1, going to 2, and I have x squared minus 8x plus 16 minus 4, closing my parentheses. Then I go ahead and put in my dx, and I'm adding, and then second window, number 4. Okay, now we're going from 2 to the 6, and then we take, and remember, you're reversing it or flipping it over. So we have 4 minus, oh, we need to put that in parentheses, okay? Then x squared. Okay, yeah, that's what a mistake I made. Let me put that in. Okay, here it was okay to just say minus 4 because 4 was all on its own, but here that's not okay. I have to put those parentheses in. Okay, this has just got to happen. Okay, actually, let's write this correctly. I don't want you to make any mistakes here. Okay, and I don't want to show you incorrectly. Okay, we have to be very careful putting in those parentheses because we're taking into mind order of operations. Okay, the calculator is very sensitive to those order of operations. Okay, so, oops. Okay, I hit something. All right, so now we have 4 minus x squared. Keep arrowing. Now we're in the right place. And we subtract 8x. And then we add the 16 and close our parentheses. Now let me double check. Oh, don't forget your x. Or dx. Okay. Okay, so we have our dx. And yes, all correct. Entered correctly. Finally, double checking. And I agree with all of that. Okay. And remember, the reason that we can just say minus 4 is because we're just subtracting a single number. We're not subtracting an entire equation. Okay. Now push enter. And 13 is actually the answer. So that looked pretty complex. But the point is, you don't need to write it all out. You will need to know that when you're teaching, and your students need to write it all out. I would not even attempt, or I would stay away from teaching them how to put it into the calculator until they actually got to, so many weeks in review before, the end of the year test, before that EOC or that challenge test. Okay. But this is for you. You're taking a test. You don't need to sit and struggle over these numbers, okay? And you notice I didn't. The only thing I struggle with is writing it down correctly for you and verifying that I actually can push buttons correctly. Okay, now, number 5. What is the length of the curve f of x equals 3 minus x squared on the closed interval of 0, 1. Okay, so we are not doing the area. I have it highlighted and I have it all graphed out for you. And we just want that little portion there, that little curve from the 0 to 1. That's it. So, well, that's not bad. We just need to know the formula for arc length. Okay, and I'm going to grab my formula sheet here and verify that it is not on your formula sheet. And looks like on our formula sheet, no. I don't know how helpful this is. They give you for calculus, it says first derivative, and they just give you like the meaning. I don't know. They don't even that's nothing. They give you dy over dx. Well, that doesn't help us out. And that is all, except for the second derivative, that's all the calculus you get. So we need to know this. So what is that? Okay. You need to do your integral, and then we're going from 0 to 1. And what we're doing is all under the square root. We put 1 plus the first derivative of this, and we square it. Okay? So let's go down here and say f prime of x. That equals, well, 3 is 0. Apply your chain rule. So what do we have when we apply that? We have 3 is 0, then we have negative 2x when we apply it. So that's what we need to put in parentheses, minus 2x, close your parentheses and square it, more parentheses, and that is your dx. Okay, that should give us that little section of curve there. Okay, so let's do that by second window, number 4, and we are going from 0 to 1, 0 up to 1, and we go over. And now under the radical, so that's second x squared, there's our radical. 1 plus parentheses minus 2x, close parentheses, and square it, x squared, and then go over, put in your x for your dx. Okay, now, moment of truth, push enter. And guess what? We are correct. Option A will do it. Okay. Much nicer than sitting there and doing all the calculations. Okay. So when I figured this out and I learned it those years ago, talk about one happy undergraduate. I was like, okay, I can't do this on a test or on my homework for my professor, but I can do this to pass my certification. And when I'm in the classroom, I can quickly pop this in the calculator and make sure I'm right before I write all this stuff out for my students. Okay, so let's go to number 6. What is the length of the curve f of x equals x cubed plus x minus 1? Okay, so let's do our f of x first because we're just doing the curve, okay? So we know that f prime, first derivative, equals 2. No, that's a 3. No. 3x. I'm applying the chain rule. 3x to the second power plus 1, and then that would be plus 0. So we're done. Okay, so let's write out what we're going to put in the calculator. There's my integral from 1 to 3. Okay, and then my parentheses, my square root 1 plus 3x, okay, 3x squared plus the 1, close my parentheses and square it, another parentheses, and my dx, okay? All right, let's put all that in the calculator and let's see how this turns out. Okay, so we go second window, 4. All right, so 1, go up to 3, and then second radical, grab that radical, 1 plus parentheses, that gives me 3x squared plus 1, close my parentheses, square it, go over, put in my x for my dx, and double check that I have actually entered that correctly, and it looks good. So push enter. And yes, with a little rounding, we have option C. Okay, fabulous. All right, this is the last item in this video. And once again, if you really like what we're doing or if you've learned anything, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and like us. So when you give us a quick like, then that tells us that you're on the right track. You're helping students and they like what they see. Also, sharing. I've noticed some people have shared. If you know anybody out there that could benefit from these videos, and oh my gosh, maybe they subscribe. That would be awesome because we want to keep the videos up. We have a whole lot more in the works that we would like to help out with. So please like us, share us, subscribe, and happy testing.